Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is Harry, sorry, from Spurs TV. Back for another match reaction. So Spurs beat Luton 2-1 earlier today to go back into fourth place. Of course, Villa took that fourth place later on, beating Wolves. But let's just talk about the Spurs Luton game, which was not an easy watch, to put it pretty bluntly. For a game that on paper Spurs should be putting Luton away. A lot of people actually predicted us to win 4-1, 3-0, 3-1, those sorts of scorelines. We made it very tough for ourselves. Van der Ven didn't start, he didn't come on, he didn't play any part, which to some people maybe was surprising, maybe it wasn't. But clearly Ange wanted to save him for the West Ham game. Werner came in on the left-hand side, which pushed Son. Obviously, he's playing striker most of the season anyway. He's not really pushed him into the middle. But Werner came on the left-hand side for a start. And Dragusin kept his spot. And Luton, surprising to some people, Townsend played for Luton today. He started from the off. A lot of people expect him to come off the bench, but I don't know, I have this feeling he would play. And yeah, first half, Son missed literally an open goal. Werner missed a great chance as well, where I think he should have really squared it to Udogie. But before all of that, Luton took the lead. Within the first few minutes, Spurs missed a great chance. A pullback from Kulusevski was way off it. And as a consequence, in the early stages, Luton broke, were very direct. Townsend actually was actually involved in their goal, with a sort of cross-ish cut, not cut back, more like a cross, back into the middle, and the player played to the side, and they scored the goal. And it wasn't really totally against the run of play. Luton did look sort of threatening, especially in the first half. And of course, after they scored their goal, the time wasting started. And this is something that Spurs need to get used to, because even Ange just kind of alluded to it in his press conferences. These teams will come to Spurs and time waste, because the point for a team like Luton at Tottenham is quite massive. No disrespect to Luton, and I did think they gave a good account of themselves today, on the most part, in terms of their style and how much effort they put in. And I don't know if they were hard done by in the end, because I think Spurs were better in the second half, which we'll go on to in a minute. But yeah, they can't do much else. These sorts of sides come to Spurs, just low blocks and try and frustrate us. And in the first half, they did. Second half, surprisingly to all of us, Ange made a substitution quite early. Kulusevski went off, who got mass criticism from everyone, really, in the ground and on the internet, for his first half performance, which was really poor. And Johnson came on, and to his credit, Johnson made an impact. He was involved in the first goal, and I think even the second, somewhat. So he did make a difference, and we beat Luton 2-1. But if you look at the way we played, again, very slow, very pedestrian. Ramirez was taking like 5 minutes on the ball to pass it. Vicario, again, very slow, very pedestrian. And this is why teams like Luton are getting, I know they didn't get a point, but they feel like they got a shot to get something at Spurs, or to get something at Tottenham. And West Ham, who is coming up on Tuesday, by the way, only a few days away, actually, they'll feel like they can beat us again, like they did at our ground. So Ange needs to change it. And to me, this game has, because it wasn't convincing. Let's put it wasn't convincing. And for a manager who prides himself supposedly on attacking football, that wasn't great to watch. Even in the second half, when we had like a 10-minute spell where we crossed the ball in and cutbacks in, no clinical finishes. So in order for this system to work, and I'll stand by what I say, you need to upgrade all three of the attackers. You need a world-class striker, a world-class left winger, and a world-class right winger. Otherwise, we can forget this. Because even Son, who scored a deflected goal, by the way, at the end, missed an absolute sitter, like I said, in the first half, and I think he missed another one. Werner, again, it's not the Werner of Leipzig back in the day. And Johnson, despite his assists, and Kulusevski, despite his work rate, together they cannot provide enough for us on the right-hand side. And we need to go out and sign like definitely a proper start on the right wing. And yeah, so it's not looking good for us really in the long term, unless the quality of the players improve in the final third, which is what is letting us down in terms of missing open goals, this system I don't think will work in the long run. And further to that, the system where the fullbacks are inverting, which is something very unorthodox and not really been seen in the Premier League, is to our positive, like our weakness as well. Because if you notice with the Luton goal, they exposed the pocket that was left by Adogi. So teams have sussed this out. And if Luton had just that little bit more quality today, they would have probably got at least a point, I think. Because when we just waste possession, we have more possession, more passes than any other position, but we don't do anything with the ball. There's no intention. I know Luton are much less quality than us, but I felt they were way more direct and way more effective that way. But it's the only way the system works is, number one, the attacks have to be much better quality. And I'm including Son with this. I don't think Son in the long run is going to be the solution. I think off the bench as an impact player, he might actually be better next season. I just don't think he hasn't. I know he scored. Everyone says 14 goals for Ange, whatever, but he's not the same Son. The guy is not the same player. A lot of his goals this season, or pretty much all of them, really, were tap-ins. And I still stand by what I said on Spurs Kings TV. I don't think we need better than him. I'm sorry, we need a better striker than him. And if it was me, I'd buy Osimhen, Chiesa, and Kanash for like the three Italian. I mean, we're shopping in Serie A anyway. The three Italian, not Italian players, but Italian-based players. And that'll be our front three. That's what I would do. And that would probably cost you 200 something million, but yeah, that's what I would do. And I'd use Werner as a backup, Son as a backup, and Richarlison as a backup. That's what would be my backups, and Johnson maybe, and then I'll move Kulusevski into the middle as an understudy to Maddison. That's what I would do. Because in order to break that elite gap, you need to go out and buy top quality, and we won't. This is not the Son of 2019. He's not the same player who went past the whole Burnley side and scored that goal. He's not the same player. I'm sorry, he's really not. And we need to go out and sign like a top-class striker, like a proper number 9. Because right now we're just papering over cracks, especially in attacking areas. We have spells where we look good there, but overall, and especially how attacking this system is, it's not going to work out. And Ange himself needs to change and just tweak things, please. We can't keep going through this every game. But for me, if we're going to keep starting games like this, it's just a mirror of Conte last season, where the first half was really poor and second half we woke up. And it's the players, it's the managers, it's the club as well, it's the ownership. It's pretty much everything. But Ange was supposed to be meant to be this saviour of ours, and he really isn't. And like I said, this system to work, you need 3 elite attackers, and we don't have 1 elite attacker. Half all the 6 options we have, not one of them is elite. Because they won't, let's be honest, if someone's that great, he would have gone to another club before. Kane did, but Son decided not to. And Liverpool link, I know people will say Liverpool link with him for years, but Liverpool won't buy him now. He's 32. It's so stupid that people actually think he would get into their team, but anyway. So, yeah, we need to go and sign 3 elite attackers in the summer. Of course, we need number 6 on top of that, and 2 wing backs, I'd argue, as well, because Porro and Doge can't play every game, especially without the running they do. So, yeah, a long ways to go, a lot of work, a lot of spending, and we're talking like 300 million maybe to fix this. But Spurs scraped past Luton, and that's all it was. We scraped past Luton Town. With no disrespect again to Luton, but we should be putting this team really a lot. And as a part of this video, a question needs to be asked of Ange, because that was very, very, very poor. And for the skin of our teeth, we got that. Like, literally. So it was a deflected goal, let's be honest, yeah. Like, we're very lucky to win that game. So, yeah. Come on, you Spurs, I guess.